20 minutes, let's go. So jump everyone, my name is Travis. I'll be your safari guide out here in the Harambe Wildlife Preserve today. If you guys take a look above you, you'll notice the animal spotting guide. Keep in mind, we might not see every animal that is up there on that guide, but I'll do my best to point them out to you as we go along. Now, a few safety reminders before we begin our adventure. If you haven't noticed, it is very bumpy on the reserve, so please do remain fully seated for me at all times. Also, we do have to keep these face coverings on throughout the entirety of our adventure as well. Now, if you guys are going to be taking photos while we're out here, feel free to do so. Unfortunately, I can't stop for every animal, so keep those cameras ready and hold on to all your personal belongings. If they were to follow the truck, I can't stop or get back with them. Last but not least, these animals, they might get close to us while we're out here. Hopefully this happens, but if so, please refrain from trying to yell out, whistle, or holler at them. We don't want to frighten them away. After all, we're visitors in their home now. We should be very respectful of that. With that being said, we're beginning our adventure here in the Little Aturi Forest. This is going to be home to some shy, some well-camouflaged animals. Keep those eyes go. In fact, take a look out there on the right, that's the okapi. A lot of people think they're related to zebras due to their black and white stripes, but that's only for camouflage. Their closest relatives are giraffes. Take a look to our left. This beautiful bird, this is a saddle-billed stork. They get their names because of that unique coloring that they have on their bills, kind of resembles a saddle. Let's see, looks like we're approaching a watering hole up ahead. This could be a popular spot to find animals hanging around. Let's see. Looks to be pretty quiet through here. Hold that thought. There is a black rhino right up against this rock wall over here. Now, black rhinos, they are unfortunately endangered. There are less than 5,000 of them left in the world. That's because they're unfortunately poached for those horns on the end of their noses. And those horns are made up of keratin, which both our hair and our fingernails, they're made up of keratin as well. So that means that a rhino's horn has no medicinal value. It's a shame that they're poached for them. If you look on both sides of the truck, you'll see these beautiful chestnut-colored antelopes. These are called bongos. Bongos are nicknamed the ghosts of the forest due to how elusive they are. In fact, they probably think they're visible to us back there behind the brush. See another one coming up over here on our left. If you take a look out there on the right, this is a greater kudu. It looks like that is a female greater kudu. I don't see any horns on her head. And the males have these huge spiraling horns that'll reach about 6 feet long, believe it or not. I've seen a few more back there. With that being said, looks like that is going to do it for us out here in the Little Aturi Forest. Well, it's definitely not a bad start to our adventure so far. Coming up ahead, we are now approaching the Safi River. This is going to be home to some of the more dangerous animals of Africa, so keep an eye out as we're driving along this riverbank. In fact, there's a hippo down there to the right. So he's kind of hanging out right on the edge of the shallows. Since we know hippos reside in this river, I'll tell you the trick to try to spot them. Because rather than swimming up towards the top of the surface, they'll actually walk or run along the bottom of the river. There's another one behind the island over there. 2 for 2. Let's see if we can find any more. In fact, remember what I said, how they're below the surface? Look right here to our left. I mean, notice that hippo doesn't even disturb the surface of the water right there. And they can hold their breath for about 8 minutes at a time while they're below the surface. So they're very elusive animals. Sure have to know where to keep an eye out to see them. These large birds that are nesting on this island, these are pink-backed pelicans. However, they only get their pink coloring around their mating season. There's another hippo. Fully grown ones, like these ones we see through here, they weigh in at about 2.5 tons, believe it or not.
Look at all these crows.
I don't think those are crows.
No, those are not crows. I think those are vultures.
As we cross this bridge up ahead of us, keep an eye on your left-hand side. These are Nile crocodiles. You'll find out this way. Nile crocodiles, they are one of the largest of the crocodilian species. They grow up to about 16 feet long. They are extremely dangerous predators, waiting to ambush just about anything that comes up to the water fence. All right. Now, folks, by Guys, show of hands. Is this anybody's first time out here on a safari? Any first timers? Just a few of us? Let's see a few hands back there. Jumbo guys, welcome. Glad I'm not the only one. To those of you that are joining us again, definitely welcome back. Also, this is a good chance, if you haven't already, take another look at the spotting guide. Maybe try to pick out a favorite animal. Perhaps one that we haven't seen just yet. And we can start keeping an eye out for that animal in particular. If I were to choose an animal, I'd maybe choose, let's see, perhaps the cheetahs. They're one of my favorites. Certainly a difficult animal to spot. Now we're going to head into the savannah here in a moment. First, take a look to the right. That's the baobab tree. We'll find a few more of these throughout the reserve. Nicknamed, of course, the upside down tree, due to their branches looking like roots. Now we're going to go ahead and start making our way through the savannah here. And the savannah is going to be home to some of those more popular, famous animals of Africa, some of which we'll definitely be able to recognize. And already I see some friends out here across the way, but I'll wait till we get a little bit closer to them. Make sure everyone has a good view before I identify anyone just yet. In fact, it looks like it's going to be pretty quiet over here on this side of the savannah. I think everybody's hanging out over there across the way where we saw them. But for now, I'm going to be keeping an eye on our left-hand side for a rare sight that resides over this way. Let's see if we can hopefully find them. Oh, sure enough. Wow, this is a rare sight. These are two spotted hyenas. We got a close-up on this. Spotted hyenas. You might think they are part of the canine family. However, they're actually part of their own family. It's known as a hyenidae. Within that clan of hyenas, they work on a matriarchal system. That means that females outrank the males. In fact, the lowest ranking female still ranks higher than the highest ranking male. Talk about girl power. And of course, we all recognize them from that signature maniacal laugh, like we heard in The Lion King. However, that is one of 14 different vocalizations that they have, with the maniacal laugh being one of the more rare vocalizations that you could expect to hear from them. And these are termite mountains, so we're driving past through this area. And these are created from 3 key ingredients, which are dirt, spit, and dung. That means, kids, you do not want to play in these termite mountains. And it looks like we're catching up to all this activity up ahead here. Bear with me as we go through to identify everyone. Of course, we're beginning out here on the right-hand side. These really tiny antelopes you see laying down enjoying the sunlight, those are springboks. And springboks may look like really tiny antelopes. However, these are actually fully grown springboks. They won't get much bigger than what we see right over there. As we come around this corner, we'll get a closer look at our friends with these huge horns. These are the Ankole cattle. They're one of the few domesticated animals we can expect to find out in the reserve. The huge horns that they have may look big and heavy, but they're actually fairly light. They're very important for them as well. It's because they're hollow on the inside. And they fluctuate blood through those horns in order to help lower their body temperatures. Also, their name is the Watusi cattle. That's named after the tribe that domesticated them. And these be used as popular signs of wealth and a common gift for marriage. And towards the top of the hill, you see the darker gray animals. Those are white bearded wildebeest. Wildebeest are incredibly migratory animals. They like to herd in these huge groups of over 1 million. In fact, that makes them the second most densely populated animal on the planet.
There's a giraffe back there.
Take a look to your left. That's the elusive African bunny rabbit. That's a rare sight.
Oh, look.
They look exactly like they do here in the States, though, I'll tell you.
Giraffe are really
And then
close
we got
to
some
the road.
giraffes up ahead in this area. Look at this shorter one over here. Obviously just a little bit younger. However, once she is fully grown, she'll end up standing near around 20 feet tall, along with these other adult giraffes. You can see over here. Look how curious she is. She's still got the fuzziest ossicones. Ossicones are those little horns on top of her head. She got so much extra fur up there. Of course, that'll eventually go away, but I hope it doesn't. And there's her sister. You can see this other one. She's kind of over here picking up the bush on the hillside. And these are Maasai giraffes that we're finding out here in the reserve. You can tell because they have those rough-edged spots that are throughout their bodies. These rough-edged spots are unique to each giraffe, the same way our fingerprints are unique to each one of us. See over here, right too. And of course, a group of giraffes like this is called a tower. Tower of giraffes. That's a pretty good luck so far here on our adventure. Hopefully this luck can continue on. It's coming up ahead. We are now approaching elephant country. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled, our fingers crossed. Hopefully we can find the herds we're out here today.
Wow, they're so close.
And sure enough, wow, our luck continues on. This is a huge African elephant out here on the right. If I had to guess, I would assume this is a male African elephant. Looks like he's out here on his own. Males, as they get older, often form these solitary groups or bachelor groups away from the rest of their herd. And that guy is huge. He's definitely one of the largest elephants you might see. He's up there in the 6-ton range, that's for sure. Let's see here. Uh-oh. Looks like the road is actually closed for elephant country, huh? Maybe it has something to do with our large friend we saw back there. Perhaps he's blocking our path. No worries. We'll see if we can find a detour up ahead. I'd rather not encroach into his territory. Those African bull elephants, they can be very territorial after all. But in fact, that actually brings up a very important point with the elephants. One of the biggest threats that they face is, in fact, habitat loss. However, one of the earliest projects with the Disney Conservation Fund involved our researchers when they discovered that elephants, they're scared of bees. In fact, if they hear the buzzing of bees, they will turn and run the other way. So with that in mind, farmers over in Kenya, they began creating these beehive fences, and that helps out in a number of ways. It'll keep elephants from encroaching on the human property, possibly destroying their crops. It helps out the bee population, which of course is also being threatened, and helps out those farmers so that they can sell that honey, make a little bit of an extra profit. So certainly like a win-win-win for everyone. Look carefully through here. I see tusk marks in the wall to our right. That's red clay in that wall. That's a good sign. Maybe the herd has migrated through here recently. Let's keep our eyes peeled.
Oh!
Hello. We got a friend over here in elephant country. Got a giraffe checking out the detour over here.
Wow.
This would be a good chance to try to get a selfie with this giraffe. Try to hang out with her for a second. Don't want to scare her or nothing. It's gotta be nice. Found a spot in the shade. There's nobody else trying to steal the food from her. Unfortunately, it looks like our researchers are kind of patrolling through this area, so I'm not expecting to find any elephants out there with them. We do get a closer look at some of these baobab trees while we're out here, though. The elephants, they love to hang out near these baobab trees, especially as they're migrating across Africa, and that's because there's a great source of water for them within these huge trees. And elephants, they'll go right up to the base of them, scratch out a little hole using their tusks in order to gain access to that fresh water, which can be very important for them, especially in seasons of drought.
Nice.
Up ahead, we're coming around to an island of greater flamingos. Greater flamingos are one of the largest of the flamingo species, also lightest in the pink coloring. They get that light pink coloring from their diet, which basically consists of shrimp and krill. If you look carefully among their island, you might see a few of the younger flamingos out there. They've got the darker gray feathers, darker gray legs. What's kind of unique about flamingo chicks, whenever they're first hatched, they're born with that bright pink coloring. Until they get older, they start to go darker gray. Once they've reached full adulthood, they've consumed enough shrimp and krill, which gives them that rich pink coloring we end up recognizing them with.
They kind of sound like geese.
Yeah, they do.
Now let's see here. I'm going to point out there's this mud wallow out here on our left-hand side, and mud wallows such as this one are popular spots to find rhinos hanging around. That's because it's a great cool-down spot for them on those hot African days. They love to roll around over there in that mud. It helps protect their skin from bug bites in the sun. So keep your eyes peeled. Might find a rhino nearby. Down that path to the right, that's a water buck. Some people like to call them circle butts. You won't hear me say that though. But they're usually found around water-type ecosystems. That's where they get their names from. Folks, we're gonna pause our rhino search for a moment. Take a look right there to the left.
Oh my
There's
God.
a cheetah coming in perfect view for us there. Fastest of land animals. They reach speeds of around 60 miles per hour, and they will reach those speeds in about 3 seconds. So that second one up to the right there. These spots are just a perfect camouflage for them out here. What I find really unique about the cheetahs, they are built for speed rather than for power. You can see that they have those beautiful long muscular tails, and they will use their tails to help hold their balance while they're sprinting at very fast speeds, as well as it helps them to turn as sharply as they do. In fact, cheetahs, they can turn on a dime even while they're sprinting. Up ahead, looks like we're approaching an area that is featuring some copy rocks. And these copy rocks could be a popular spot to find predators hanging around, so definitely keep an eye out as we are passing through here.
Oh yeah, live with many pictures of predators.
Hello, we got an ostrich up ahead of us. Got a lot of activity up here, out here to our right-hand side.
Oh, look at the ostrich.
Ostriches are the largest of bird species, but they are flightless birds. But they can still reach speeds of around 40 miles per hour while they're running. There's our friend, the water buck. The antelope that's laying down over there is a bontabak, gorgeous animal. Unfortunately, they're poached for their coats. They have a purplish sheen to their coats when the sun hits them just right. And this animal that's grazing about with those beautiful horns, that's a scimitar horned oryx. They're pretty cool animals, able to stand intense heat climates. They can last about 9 months out of the year without drinking a single drop of water. In fact, a really impressive animal. And there he is, folks, king of all predators. There is a male lion being a little photo shy over there on the edge of those rocks. Now lions, of course, they'll sleep through a majority of the day. They are nocturnal predators. Lionesses will go out and do most of the hunting for the pride. Male lions stay back, guard the territory along with any cubs. What's pretty incredible about seeing a lion out here during the daytime is that during the day, he has about the same vision as we do, which means that he could see us as well as we can see him. However, at night, they certainly have us beat. They've got a night vision about 6 times better than our own, which makes them incredible nocturnal predators. It's also kind of cool about the male lion's mane, and it weighs up to about 40 pounds. 40 pounds of fur around his head there. It's very important for him as well, not only to help swoon the ladies, but also as protection in case he's in a dispute with another lion. And we got some ostrich eggs coming up over here on the ground to the right. Looks like somebody kicked them all around. Incredibly durable eggs. Each one weighs up to about 3 pounds, and an average size adult male human could actually stand on an ostrich egg, and it would not break.
Wow. Wow.
Crossing that bumpy bridge, we are now entering the Magadi Glen, and it looks like the warden set up posts out here in the Magadi Glen. Take a look through this area. Sure enough, our friends out this way, these are the Nigerian dwarf goats. And the Nigerian dwarf goats are actually great examples of how humans and animals can come together. For example, the locals out in Africa, they began traveling with this specific species of domesticated goats in order to depend on them for basic resource needs, such as dairy products or maybe goat milk. That helps to reduce any conflicts and interactions between those locals and the more endangered wildlife, who they might have depended on before traveling with our friends over here. Now, unfortunately, friends, that does bring our adventure here to an end. However, hope you guys enjoyed your time out there in the Harambe Wildlife Preserve today. You folks have been a terrific group. Hopefully you got to see some of your favorite animals out there. I know I for sure did. Maybe you got some good photos of them as well. If you guys want to help out any of these animals, feel free to speak with any of the cast members. So we're out here in Disney's Animal Kingdom about the Disney Conservation Fund. You heard me talk about it a little bit while we were out there, but with the Disney Conservation Fund, Disney will match all donations dollar for dollar. The proceeds, they go to help out these incredible animals we're able to find out here today. In fact, one of their latest initiatives, and one of my favorites, is a program that is called Protect the Pride. And with Protect the Pride, that directly goes to benefit the lions out in Africa in order to secure more protected land so that they can continue to increase their numbers. And folks, we are just around the corner before we reach the village where I'll drop you guys off at. This will be a good chance. Just double check, make sure you got all your personal belongings, because it's bumpy out here today. Some things could have found in your bags, in your pockets. And then finally, friends, here in Harambe, we don't like to say goodbye. It's far too sad, far too final. So instead, we say Kwaherini, which means to go well. So as we part here today, we'll say Kwaherini to one another. Hopefully see each other again one day soon. And folks, my name was Travis. Pleasure having you guys aboard. Enjoy the rest of your day out here in Disney's Animal Kingdom. Go well and go wild. Great adventures made up. Thank you guys. Next.